Wanted to show off my SpongeBob. SpongeBob and Patrick. And then give you all a good look at the back. What is up? What is good? How's it going? And welcome back to my YouTube channel, Books and Good Vibes. If you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, thank you very much. So today we are going to be talking about something that I can't believe I didn't think of discussing on my own. This was actually commented. I will put the comment here on this side. You know, I've discussed in the few videos that I have that I am very much in love with the story of Percy Jackson and the Olympians and pretty much anything Rick Riordan has written in that universe. And recently we have gotten the amazing godsend news that Percy Jackson is going to be getting a Disney Plus TV show adaptation. It honestly, it's touching my heart just talking about it. It makes me feel so very happy because, as you know, Percy Jackson did not get the best adaptation to movie, to film. No shade on the actors. They did great. The movie though. So yeah, this video is basically gonna be broken up into two parts. First, it's gonna be my thoughts on the movie adaptation and all that stuff and like why I watched it and all that. And then the next part is gonna be my thoughts on the TV show, what I hope for, like what I think would be a good way to go about doing it and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Okay, now the reason why I'm starting this whole thing off with talking about the movie is because the movie is the whole reason I read the books. I know everyone else in this universe is probably like, what do you mean they're the reason? I had no knowledge of Percy Jackson before the movie came out. Like it came on TV and I was like, this is cool. I watched it for the longest time. Guys. The Percy Jackson movie was one of my favorite movies, period. It was in like the top things. I was like 12. Okay, I was 12. I didn't know any better. But it was one of my favorite movies because it was so cool. I liked the concept and I really like Greek mythology. So I was like, this is so cool. Then I went to my school and I found the book in the library, read the book and realized my mistake. The book was so much better and I've learned that the movies are pretty much trash. Again, no shade to like the actors. They're very good. Just didn't like this film after reflecting on it over some years. So yeah, that's pretty much why I watch it. And so like the movie will always have a special place in my heart and soul because it's the reason I found these books. But I can recognize that it's bad because in the movies, first of all, they didn't have the right age characters. Like these characters were like supposed to be like in high school, 16, 17 years old, which is kind of defeats the purpose of the whole series. It's like watching Percy grow up, go through all his changes and stuff like that. It's like you can't really do that if he's almost an adult already. It ruins the whole appeal of it. Secondly, it took out so many important characters and story points that made the book so good, and it kept skipping parts and adding parts that weren't even in the book. So the general consensus among the Percy Jackson fandom is that they, you can get up, you can just go. One moment. So yeah, the general consensus among the Percy Jackson fandom is basically that the movie is trash. The musical is amazing. I haven't seen it yet. I know, but I will see it eventually, and I'm sure I will love it. And we are all very excited for the TV show. Which brings us to the TV show segment of this video. I don't know how anyone else is, and I know a lot of people have been wanting Percy Jackson to be a TV show since the movie came out. Me personally, once I read the books, I was like, I agree, this should definitely be a TV show. It would be so much better. Like the way it's broken up, like it would be perfect for a TV show. Once I decided that I wanted to be a writer and stuff like that, and then I went to school for writing and learned how to write scripts for TV shows. it became like an unrealistic, but like maybe possibly like dream of mine to actually write the show for Percy Jackson, like be a writer for the show. Like this was before like the whole, like before it became like official that it was happening. Like in my head I was like, I could totally write this as a show, because like the way I would break it down is that like season 1 is the Lightning Thief. So like each episode is each chapter in Lightning Thief, and the whole season is the first book, and then so on, like broken up into each book is a different season. So that would be like 5 seasons, unless they do the whole thing where they break books up into like parts, which I always think is kind of freaking weird. But like if you think you can do the content, you do you, boo. But at least that's at least 5 seasons right there. And then that's not even counting like all the different spin-offs, all the different spin-off series that could possibly come with like the Heroes of Olympus, the Kane Chronicles, Trials of Apollo, Magnus Chase. Like all of those would be like a million different things as well. But they could, like each book could be seasons, and then each chapter is an episode. So that's how I would do it. That's how it makes sense to me. And I feel like to a lot of you, it would also make sense, because that's kind of how you read it anyway. Like each chapter is an episode almost, depending on like how much is happening in each episode, because you could like merge some of them. But yeah, that's how my thought process was. So I mean, maybe sometime down the line when I'm better, like I'm putting it in the atmosphere now that I will become good enough so I could work on a Disney Plus show. If Disney Plus wants a new but devoted writer on their team writing for a story that she is passionate about, what is good, what's up? I love Percy Jackson and I am a writer and would love to work with you guys. Anyway, some of my hopes for the show besides that obviously are that, first of all, they have to have age appropriate characters. If Percy Jackson isn't like 12 in the show, if all of these characters that are like supposed to be like 12, 13 years old aren't that age in the show, I'm gonna be heated, because the whole charm of it is that it's a middle grade story, and each season, each book, we're watching Percy, Annabeth, and Grover get older and become more mature in their lives and being heroes and just existence. And it's so pure and wholesome. We get to watch them grow into amazing grown-ups, but also amazing like friends. And it's like, if we don't have that, it kind of loses a lot of what makes the Percy Jackson story what it is. Another thing that I'm hoping for is that they do the gods justice as well. It's like Disney usually does a really good job at casting, in my opinion. So I'm not too worried about it, but I just hope that they get the different personalities of the gods from the story, from this particular version of Greek mythology and story, right? Like Zeus is like this big CEO kind of figure, and Poseidon is this like laid back but still like mighty figure, but he's dressed in like freaking like fishing shorts and a Hawaiian shirt, because he's like, that's the kind of dude he is. And it's just like, I feel like the casting of the adults is just as important as the casting for the kids, because they have to be able to play off each other in a way that makes sense and gives off a similar vibe to the books while still being a whole different thing. Which brings me to the writing. Whoever is chosen to write for this, one, I need Rick Riordan to be in that room at all times, because he wrote the books. You want it to be genuine to the books. Have the creator of the story in the room when you're writing each episode. Like, that's how much sense that makes. It's not difficult. And yet here we are. At any rate, like, I understand a lot of people want the show to be a lot like the books, but it's like, but I also understand the fact that you can't have a show that is exactly like the source material, or else people will get bored and it's like, oh, I knew that was gonna happen. It's like, yeah, because you read the books. You have to have a balance of differences and similarities, so that both people who know what's gonna, like, who know the source material can enjoy themselves, but people who are new can understand and get a vibe for what the original source material was like, while still enjoying this whole new thing. I need the writing room to be filled with people who are very diverse in thought process, and not just full of a bunch of people who want the same exact thing, who are gonna be immediate yes men, yes ma'ams, and like stuff like that. We need people who are able to think outside the box, but still willing to be faithful to the original series, if that makes any sense. Yeah, for the most part, that's what I have. I have a lot of hope for Disney and this project because there's a huge fan base of people who are ready for this to take off. And I feel like as loyal and fierce the Percy Jackson fan base is, like, I feel like they're going to put in they're gonna have their work cut out, but they are gonna put in a lot of work to make sure that this is the adaptation that we deserve as a fan base. And hopefully, you know, like maybe like this will be such a success, like we'll not only get the entirety of Percy Jackson, but we'll get like the spin-offs. Like, yeah, it'll just be super freaking great, and I'm excited about it, and it's gonna be phenomenal. I know it is. Well, that's really all I got today. I hope you guys, like, let me know if you guys agree or disagree with anything I've said in this video. Maybe let me know what you're excited for the Percy Jackson show. If you've read the books, if you haven't, read them. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Also, if you want to see my face again, please subscribe. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.